Hey y'all, it's your girl News Trotter, and as you know, today is September 11th. I'm not coming with you with no hair videos today. I just thought I would share with y'all kind of what I remember about that day, where I was. September 11th, 2001, I believe it was. Yeah, because Bush was in office at least 1 year. Um, I was in the sixth grade. I went to University of Memphis Campus School. It was a little elementary school on camp at the University of Memphis. It was yeah. I don't want to go into a lot of details about this school, but yeah. I was in a all girls class because they do a lot of I guess a lot of tests. I guess to see how kids could learn in different environments or being taught different ways. So we were like the little lab rats for that. So we was in the all girls class, and I remember I was in the we were in fifth or sixth grade. I can't remember what grade I was in. I think I would say the sixth grade, but I might be wrong. Yeah, I was in the sixth grade. Um, and we were just chilling. This is a predominantly white school, and I remember after a while, like a whole bunch of parents came and got their kids. I didn't really think nothing of it, honestly. I didn't know what it was. I just thought, hey, maybe, um, they just gotta get picked up anyway. I didn't really think nothing of it. I know we wasn't allowed to watch TV. They came on the intercom and said we was on lockdown, and it was like, oh, like last time it was like maybe there's some crazy person on campus because the elementary school is on the university campus, so if anybody running around crazy or acting strange and stuff, we get on lockdown like real quick. So we didn't really think nothing of it or nothing. So, we go about our day. We couldn't go out. We didn't go outside. We just stayed for recess and then watch movies. And um, I was after school care at Lindenwood, and I was in there. We was playing games and stuff. And this girl was like, "Oh my goodness, did you hear? The White House got bombed." I was like, "What? The White House got bombed?" I'm like, I would. And my was like, I would have heard something about that, and I was like, "What is about the White House got bombed? This is just crazy, whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, it was all over the news. It was like somebody bombed the White House," and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, so I mean, my mama came and picked me up, and I was like, "Mama, after school care, I was like, Mom, this girl told me the White House got bombed," and she was like, "No, the White House get bombed, but there was somebody did attack the New York, like stuff like that." I was like, "Oh my goodness, really?" And okay, then well, we still don't have cable, but if you don't have cable, like Mom know how y'all are like with cable, but if you don't have cable, when one news story happened, it get flashed on all the stations. And without cable, that's all your stations. So I get home to go watch my little cartoons or whatever, or whatever I be watching when I get home from school. I can't remember. And they talk about the terrorist attack, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like it's like, "Oh, so planes has been hijacked and rammed into the building." And I'm mind you, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock. By then, everybody else already knew. I don't know how they did it, but it was like they was able. I guess they was like, don't talk about it or whatever at my after school care, but nobody ever talked about the whole attack thingy. Only person that mentioned was that little girl, but she hadn't had her story wrong. So I got home, I watched TV, and then like I still won't forget it because it was just so creepy. Because they was talking about it, like they showed like the building on fire and all that stuff. I was like, oh okay, I we kind of desensitized. Like I hope kids we watch all this action stuff. And I was like, hey, the building's on fire. That's all I saw. But y'all, oh my goodness, they showed when I saw the footage of the actual plane. They showed the footage of the actual plane just flying into the building, and it's like I wasn't there, but just seeing that somebody actually caught that on camera, I'm like, well, this is not fake. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was sitting there just in shock because I mean, I don't know, I'm like 10 or 11. I'm like 10 or 11 years old. Sorry, y'all, this little thing popped up again. Okay, so yeah, I'm like 10 or 11 years old, and I'm seeing this, and I just only imagine. I'm freaked. I didn't freak out and start crying, but like them images just don't leave your mind. I remember even the next year when I went, like years later back in high school, ninth grade year in high school, we was watching a documentary about that, and they showed it again, and it was like it was still just seemed so unreal. I don't know. I don't know, like if I couldn't cope with it or what, but it was like, oh my goodness. And I just won't forget seeing like footage of the people just jumping to their death. Like for the next 4 days, like the whole week, all I could watch was the coverage on there because that's all my TV was showing. Like even on PBS, all of them shows that were showing it. And after a while, I still got tired of it. I mean, I'm young, y'all, so don't ridicule me on that. But it was like I see the people jump out the window, seeing the building fall, and everything. And I was like, at first I was like, what? I didn't understand what happened. Like, what could we have possibly did? You know, back we was taught like we was the best thing ever. Like we helping people with their problems and all this stuff. Like America. As I got older, I realized when I really got into history, I realized yeah, we did kind of piss some folks off. But that just shocked me, y'all. And I honestly don't think like that really September 11th. Even if you wasn't in New York, you was around New York, you worked. No matter where you were, the day you found out and saw that those planes hit, that day you will never forget. See, I'm all the way in Memphis, Tennessee, and I mean, hundreds of miles away. I'm in the South. That happened all the way on the East Coast, on in the North, like in New England area, and I get affected by it. I remember this lady. She was talking about how she was all distraught over it and everything. She just started baking cookies. Like the way she just had to get stuff out was baking cookies and just baking treats. I remember she just kept baking and kept baking. I know she gave away to the fire department. But from that whole idea, I just learned a lot about people. I remember by then, folks had all their everybody got real patriotic. I could say that's probably the only time I think like majority of people actually would say they probably loved America at the moment. Like we gain so much appreciation for the firefighters and the police officers. Cause think about like from what I heard, like the first building got hit, second building got hit, and they were trying to sit there and evacuate the second building and everything. Like there was a lot of fire people in them buildings, but fire department and everything was in them, and police officer was in all those buildings. And then the first one started collapsing. Oh my goodness! When I seen it fall, it was just like, oh my goodness! It was just so weird, y'all. You just can't get those something you can't erase them images. I was thinking yesterday, I'm gonna be like an old grandma retelling my childish story, and I probably can still remember it as perfectly like this. I'm 20 now. This happened like 10 years ago, and I still remember my day to day, how my day to day step went. But I honestly do. Everything that resulted of it, just the war and all that stuff. Yeah, I may not agree with the war and everything, but I do remember the lives that was lost. I do remember the lives that was lost in 9/11. The people that was just going to work, who just going to get their cup of coffee. The mother, the daughter, the families ain't gonna see that the mother and daughter and people, they ain't gonna see their families anymore. Like September 10th, the last day, these folks probably said goodbye, said hi. Like, and even then, like I always don't try to have arguments with people. I mean, if I have to, I try not to have bad feelings towards people because you never know when your last day is, and I can just only imagine how some folks felt, when they find out their parents couldn't, like, they found out that their loved ones was in that tower, in that plane or whatever, and they couldn't tell them goodbye, or I mean, not just tell them goodbye, but they had like a big argument over nothing, and you was acting so mad about it, and you just couldn't tell them, you know what, baby, it wasn't nothing, but after they gone, you can't say nothing, you know what I mean, y'all? So yeah, it was just, it's a kind of work, it's just the kind of sad to think about, like, the folks on the plane, they was just trying to go about their daily life, and then these folks come up. I saw the movie United 93. I don't know why I watched that movie, honestly. But I didn't see that movie. I think we snuck in. That sounds horrible, but we did. And I mean, the little last thing, they all decided, they jumped up and got hold over there. You just see the plane crashing to the ground. But my hearts go out to all the families and to everybody that lost loved ones and it from the 9/11 attacks, and even not even just from the 9/11 attacks, from the war that we from this war that was started because they're the soldiers in Iraq. Because I do support our troops because they don't. No, I may not support the policies that sent them over there, but I do support our troops. And I just that's all I gotta say, y'all. Just make a video response of where were you? Just where were you on the September 11th? Or just leave in the comment box and everything. And I hope you have a nice day. Peace.